Headbangers. Welcome back to the Headbangers podcast, where your hosts Nathan and Brad. Today we're doing the June bangers. It's just a collection of songs that we've discovered in June. They don't necessarily have to be from June. There's a rule decided about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, no, I just thought instead of just being like the rule is it only has to be released in June of that year.
Yeah.
I because you might get a month where there's been fuck all released. Just whatever you discovered throughout that year, from that month, I thought it would be better. Just because it's you could reference
As you
an
can
album
probably
from
tell,
ages ago.
this is Nathan's idea, but I don't mind doing it that way. Mine are all from June, but I'm not trying to get brownie points. It's just, there's a lot of good releases in June.
One of mine is from June, and I think two of mine are from June of this year.
Taking part in it. It's not about the winning the race. But yeah, so we've discovered a few bangers, and we want to share them with you. So it's just a collection of songs. We picked 5 each, so you'll see them in the range of hardcore, black metal, death metal, all the good stuff. Plenty of stuff to dig your teeth into if you so wish. So I'm going to start off with Revocation and the Diabolical Majesty. Diabolical Majesty. There we go.
Magistry.
Been off a week, can't get back into it.
I know we've lost that. We've lost our mojo.
But me and Nathan, massive fans of Revocation. I think Nathan prefers some of the earlier stuff. I'm a bigger fan of like the newer stuff. I really like the outer ones, the last record. I thought that was really nice. It's got some sort of ethereal sound and shit going on. But also, technical, bit heavy as well. But I feel like, even from the band themselves, with this song, they wanted to take it back to their old style, but also just like an homage to death metal. It even contains, some of the themes and lyrical stuff that, made death metal so popular, which is the anti-state and church. But it shows that you can do it right. I'm always a big thing when I think, well, can bands still do it now and it's not going to come off cringy? But I think because they're masters of their craft, they know exactly what they're doing. It doesn't come across that way. It definitely seems like one of those songs that would be in a circle pit, something that would be much enjoyable in a live audience. But as well, don't forget about the technicality, very reminiscent of the older stuff as well. So I think if you've been a fan for a long time, or you like the new stuff, but you wanted them to sort of experiment with their older stuff again, but make it fresh, then this is for you. What do you think, Nathan? You listen to it as well?
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with you when you mentioned that it was more reminiscent of their older stuff. Just because I do prefer their older stuff. I still think that my favorite song by him is "The Grip Titans," and this song did actually remind me a lot of that song in a way. But yeah, I definitely like sort of like them going back to their roots in this. I much prefer the older sound. I never could really get into the newer stuff that they got into, where it were a lot more like proggy and stuff like that. I don't really like progressive music in general, but I mean, if you enjoy it, it's great for you. It's just not really my thing. So I'm really glad they've kind of homed it back and gone into more of their death metal side of things, but still with a little bit like sort of intertwined in there. I am a massive fan of Revocation, and I really like this track. Because it reminds me a lot of the older stuff. I feel like I'm preaching a bit, going, oh yeah, but the older stuff is better. No, I
think that's fair to say. Like, you're not saying the new stuff shit. You're just saying it's not for you. I mean,
it just wasn't for me. It was well made.
I feel like all my metaphors are like. I feel like all my metaphors are like fucking go back to food or something. But so like when you make a dish, you can add like the extra stuff in there, but sometimes just the key ingredients will make you like it more. So I think that's the case with Diabolical Majesty.
Are you hungry every time we do the episodes?
Actually, I had a massive fucking plate of food, so it's just always on the brain. I'm always thinking about the next meal.
But yeah, I genuinely, I really did enjoy this.
Good.
Yeah, like it was definitely more. It was definitely still technical death metal, but it was definitely home back, and I do prefer that way more than.
Yeah, and it's just to see what the new album's going to be like.
Yeah, I've got a theory that the new album will probably be like a mix of the old and new stuff. If you get me, like I feel like you probably on the front end of the album you probably get a lot more stuff like this, and then on the backer end you get like the newer stuff that they worked on. And I think it would be cool to have that two sort of conflicting styles in there. I could be completely wrong, but I think it would be a cool thing for them to do, because they
Good
proved
move
that they can
for
do
sure.
those two styles very well. So I feel like it'd be wasted if they didn't, like you utilize that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's nice when bands try something new, but it's also nice when they have an homage back to their old stuff, saying, yeah, we can still do this stuff, but we want to sort of implement all the other stuff as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what's your choice?
So my choice is this. So this album that this tracks from is actually from 2006, and like I discovered this band from a Scowl interview, where they're talking about their favorite like sort of hardcore bands, and it's Ceremony Caressed. It's a very raw sounding band. I think they really transitioned into like a new age band in their later years, but like this album is very raw, very pissed off, and still got that really classic hardcore sound. Like you were saying that they want a lot to deep like dig into, because the song's like only what like a minute long. But like that's what I kind of like about this album. Well, not this album, but this track, but the entire album that this track is from, is that a lot of the songs are like a minute, at most, and it's just like it doesn't overstay its welcome. It just goes in, and then says what it needs to say, and then fucks off, and it's on to the next track, and the next track just does the same. It's very fast paced, and I really like that. And I also like the lyrics, like the main lyric where he's like, "Pack your fist forward, hey, take a swing at the world." Like it's just such a
feels like an anthem or something,
yeah,
like a sing along sort of thing.
I don't know what it is, but it's really catchy, but also like really impactful for the song. Like it gets you, you're there like, yeah, it plays on that sort of like angst. And that's what I really like about like the earlier stuff from Ceremony. It's just angry, and like you really feel that.
I think I'd like to listen to the album in full, which I probably will do, because I think with 1 minute songs, I think it's nice to sort of listen to it back to back, and you sort of like, you get more of a gist of what's going on, as opposed to like, just quickly checking out a 1 minute song. And then, because I think that song had like quite a long opening, and then the last 30 seconds were like the raw, aggressive sort of anthem style hardcore. So I think I'll listen to the full thing and see what I think.
Well, there's a lot of songs like that sprinkled in the album. That's the thing. I don't think I might be mistaken, but I don't think I've seen a song from there extend like 1 minute 30.
Yeah,
and it's I just like it just because I feel like musicians focus too much on it's got to be like 4 minutes, and that's what I like about hardcore. It's like, no, we can make a 1 minute track, because it's like, if that's all we've got to say, then fine. Like, what I mean? Like, as long as we've got the message through in that 1 minute, which I feel like they have, what's the point of dragging it out? Like, it does what it needs to do. And if you see like footage of this band live, like the atmosphere is incredible, because it's just so fast paced, and like they've got a really, really good stage presence. And especially when this song comes on, like, because of that line being so catchy that everyone's fucking shouting it out. And I've been really getting into Ceremony the past month, and even going into this month, just because it was one of those hardcore bands that kind of flew under my radar. And then I watched that interview, and they played like a 2-second snippet of the song, and I was there like, oh, I really like that, let me check it out. And then I just kind of delved in, and like really, I've been really getting into.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a listen. I suppose it's the punk attitude, really, isn't it? That, it's derived from to not give a fuck about writing 5 minute songs or 10-minute songs, just to literally just get it out your system, short and sweet.
Yeah, no, and that's what I like. I've been getting into the more old school hardcore punk sort of stuff recently.
Yeah.
As opposed to the newer school stuff. Like there's some songs I've listed on here that is the newer school stuff, but I've been really on a kick with that stuff recently. I just like that pissed off sound, where it's like just in your face and not there for long. Like it's just in your face straight away, and goes to the next thing. And like I just love like everything about that sort of sound. It's just
that's fair.
raw.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my next one is Garia Salve. I hope I pronounced that right. It's usually the case whenever I'm doing a black metal band. But yeah, I've heard about these for a while. I've checked out a song here and there, and I've always really enjoyed it. I've never done too much of a deep dive and listened to a full album, but I do intend to. But you know how it is when you're just like, there's so many albums to listen to, and you always just fucking forget stuff. So I do aim to do that. But they're really cool. The definitely a band that's gotten a lot of attention in recent years. I think that's the cool thing about black metal in a way. There's always seems to be new bands popping up, and I definitely don't think it's a dead genre. We've mentioned it a million times. It can be morphed and changed to many different things. This definitely has a raw feel to it. It feels like the gates of hell are opening, and there's a lot of tempo changes in there, but it never feels like it's misplaced or it doesn't need to be there. It feels like it's consistent throughout, and the brutality and the speed of it never change. So I do really enjoy them. I would like to see them live because they seem pretty good live. But yeah, I think the nice tempo changes in there.
I mean, from what when I listened to it, I thought it was very hard hitting, and like the vocals just sound evil all the way through. It does, like, I like your analogy there. It's like sounds like the gates of hell are opening, because it is just straight for it. It's not. It doesn't like sit around for like. It doesn't sit around like opening it up for too long. It's just like straight into it.
Yeah. Because that can often happen. Like there'll be like a bit of atmosphere for a bit, and then it'll kick in and it might slow down again. But I think this was just hard hitting from the get go. Because I put it on, I saw that they had a new song, and I was like, okay, I want to listen to this. And it hooked me within the first 10 seconds. And then obviously the rest of the track is just literally the same. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I like it when black metal bands do that, where they sometimes, I mean, I do like my black metal with atmosphere, but like, I also think that too many bands get caught up in that, in the sense of like, they'll spend ages making like this really atmospheric intro that sets the mood for the track, but like the actual like kickoff of the tracks, it doesn't feel like it as impactful. Like it kind of, sometimes I can feel a bit disappointed by it, because you're there like, oh, you've had me get built up all this time, and I've kind of just got this. And like, it's nothing bad on bands that do that. Like, I think a lot of people do it really well, but there's also a couple of people that have done it poorly. Where it might be just not as impactful as it should have felt. But I always like it when black metal bands just go, nah, we're just gonna kick you straight into the action. And like, I feel like it kind of makes you snap back a little bit more and go, oh, whoa. Like, and I feel like that's when black metal is at its best sometimes. It's when it takes you by surprise.
I think like the whole thing with the new wave of black metal bands that are coming out is that it is very atmosphere based. The sort of brutality that was there before is not always present. I think it's interesting to see what bands are doing with black metal, but it's nice to have that sort of rawness come back to it. So maybe taking influence from some death metal stuff as well, in the way that it just hits you really hard. But yeah, I think it's good when they do atmospheric stuff. But again, I agree. Sometimes you want that brutality in there, and that's where this band comes in, and they did it really well.
Yeah, props to the drummer as well, because the blast beats and the drums in this track are insane. So props on him. He's got legs of iron and arms of
definitely.
iron.
Just how fast the tempo changes as well. Like, it just straight back into another fucking beat, and I don't know how people do that, but fuck me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's your choice next?
My next one is King 9, Gift of Life. I really like. I've again gotten into King 9 recently. I feel like, again, they're one of those bands that I've slept on. I've had a lot of friends over the years tell me, "Oh, listen to King 9. I think you really like them." And I just never really got round to it until like literally the end of this month. I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll finally check out King Nine. And I wasn't disappointed. Like this song's brutal, hard hitting, melodic, in like every sort of way where a hardcore band should be. Did kind of remind me of God's Hate in some sense with the vocals. But yeah, I just really I've really gotten into this band recently. I think there's every element sort of bounces off of each other really well. I think it's a hard hitting track, and it's something I'm definitely going to keep coming back to.
Yeah, for sure. I liked the sort of mid-tempo vibe to this one. It feels like a bouncy one, a bit groovy. So I can imagine this playing out very well in a live setting.
Oh yeah, it's got everything that you really would want from a hardcore band. Definitely, like it has got that just really boppy groove, but also just knows when to hit you in the face for a breakdown. So yeah, I just really like this track. I've been they're one of those bands that I'm definitely gonna keep coming back to. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's one of those things where whenever we do like this episode, I always find it hard to say to say about the song or about the band, because it's kind of like I just want people to go and listen to it.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? Like,
no, for sure. I think it's one of those things you just like, no, you have to watch it. It's like, you have to listen to it almost like a movie in a way. But people, oh, what's it about? What happens and stuff like that. I'm like, you just have to watch it. If I try and explain it, it's not going to do it justice.
I feel like no matter what I'm gonna say, won't get it through. But like, honestly, listen to this track, and I feel like anyone that will become a pretty instant fan. Because I mean, there's a reason why they do it. That, you know, like they get, you know, like they're getting a lot of attention. In terms of like, I think they've done a couple shows recently and stuff like that. I might be wrong, but yeah, it's just a hard hitting track, and I just find it so hard to like. I need to convince you, but it's like just listen to it.
Just do the thing. Just listen. Yeah. No, absolutely. I think out of the ones that you put on this list, I think that they were the ones that stuck out to me the most that I'd like to listen to again. I added it to my like song, so I'm definitely aiming to check out more of that because it's a sort of hardcore that I like as well.
Yeah, you like your more new school hardcore, don't you? Like,
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
but they've got the old school. They had a bit of an old school vibe in there, I thought. So
yeah, like
nice blend.
Yeah, that, like I said, I've been getting onto more the old school stuff. But I feel like the new school stuff is definitely a really good jumping point for anyone that's like interested in hardcore but still like really, really into metal, because there's still like that sort of metally sort of vibe to it. That's really easy for people to jump into. Because I got into it from like, I think I got into hardcore from like Harm's Way and stuff like that. Like that metallic hardcore sound where it's like, oh yeah, you know, this is very familiar. And then it's like a rabbit hole once you like go into one hardcore and you're like, oh, what's this? What's that? What's this? It's like, it's what I've done to Dylan. I've slowly introduced him from bands that I'm like, oh, I started off with these guys, so I'll send him that. And now he's going into like a massive rabbit hole going, oh, I've listened to this band. This is sick. Yeah, I mean, it's very addictive because it feels very. I feel like on the podcast I talk about hardcore way too much, but I genuinely like think it's one of the, at the moment, like it's one of the best genre in my opinion, just because it's a lot of the bands feel so fresh in the term of like you'll discover one and then you'll discover like another five that are just as unique and have just a different sort of tinge to them, and you're like, oh my god, and it's just like this revolving door of like just a fresh sound constantly, and it's really refreshing to hear for me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'll for sure check them out. Next on my list is White Ward Leviathan. This is definitely another band that's been talked about a lot in the last couple of months. Just for how incredible this album sounds. I mean, even from the singles that came out, it just sounded different, which is nice. Again, like I said, the new age of black metal is really incredible. I think one of the most innovative genres as it currently stands, but they've got this like weird black metal jazz thing going on, which, you know, it might work, it might not. It's a risky business doing that. You're taking two polar opposite things, combine them together, With 13-minute tracks, there's a lot to unpack. Again, I want to say just listen to the fucking song. I could sit and say I'd probably need like a whole hour to sit down and really talk about even just this song. You've got some nice acoustic sections, then it goes into some like jazz musicianship, straight in with like a blast beat after that. So yeah, but even just the emotional tone of it, it feels very authentic and raw. Sometimes, people try too hard to be that, especially in black metal. But this feels real. Obviously with the whole thing going on with Ukraine, he's a Ukrainian, so I'm sure they had quite a lot of emotions to get out releasing this, even though the album has been written for a long time. But again, incredible. I think it represents them very well. Just listen to the fucking album, because if you want something different, one that you've got the sort of brutality in there, but it also feels relaxing at the same time. Like you can cook your dishes to this, or you can smash your plates to it.
Oh yeah, I noticed like the trumpet section was out the blue for me.
Yeah,
Wasn't
because we had a
expecting it
funny
really.
moment, didn't we, before we started? Because I told Nathan, "Oh, check out the tracks, see what you think." And I just heard this like just the trumpet sound, and in your face, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was very out of left field, to be honest. Like I was there, like, whoa, wasn't. I also noticed like the piano in the background of some shit, like it's some
Yeah.
sections where it was
There's
just
a lot
going
going
nuts.
on.
And like I've never been a fan of black metal jazz, but I do like this just because it's like it doesn't really hold back in a lot of senses. It's not really like being like, oh yeah, we are mainly black metal, but we've got some. I feel like it's got an even really mix. It's like, yeah, we've got an equal amount of jazz in it as we do
Bit
black
more
metal.
subtle.
Yeah, like it's not like abrupt as well. I found a lot of the changes are really, except I do one criticism. I do think the horn section is definitely a bit abrupt, just because you're there like, oh, black metal. Yeah. Like it feels like you've almost skipped rock, like and like Spotify's are playing like a playlist of like suggested after listening to this. Are you there like did the song skip? But like that's the only criticism I've got. Like I don't think it's done poorly. I don't think that it's executed poorly. I just think that it's kind of like, huh? Like it's kind of a shock.
It's a bit of a shock. I think that's the thing about the album. It's nice to have that sometimes, because you could listen to a lot of albums and enjoy them, but you don't get the wow factor. Like this is seriously innovative and like it's out of left field. But it's a lot to unpack. But I think if you really sit down and listen to it, I think people would enjoy this a lot, especially if you want something new and fresh. So yeah, check out White Ward. Fucking incredible.
Yeah.
What's your next one?
So my next one is Pain of Truth. Pain of Truth. Now, shit tons of groove, plenty of gang shouts, which is something I always love to hear, especially from a hardcore band. I feel like a good hardcore band needs to have a couple songs with gang shouts. Like I feel like it should be an initiation. But yeah, no, there's plenty of gang shouts in there, massive old school and new school sort of elements in there as well. They did do a show recently at Boom, which I'm very fucking gutted that I didn't get to see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like they've recently. I think Boom has had a couple Triple B tours. I think they had like the last one like last week. But yeah, there's been like quite a few US bands over. I was very gutted. I missed out on seeing these guys. A lot of the people that I know were there. Were like, oh yeah, it was fucking unreal. Loads of people turned up and it looks really fun. But yeah, this band's like one of my favorites at the moment as well.
They were good.
There's just they've got like a really good. I feel like they've got a good dynamic as a band, and that plays through when you're listening to them. Like it seems like they all just have fun making the stuff, and like it really is infectious. Like when you listen to it, you're having fun listening to it. And it's very boppy in some sections, very like melodic. But still can be hard hitting as well.
No, absolutely. I think it's interesting sometimes when you can tell that a band has fun in there, but you even if like you know you're nothing about the band, like if you listen to a song, sometimes you can almost get a vibe that they all jam well together because they all get on together, and I think that's where you can create some of the nicest sounding music. But yeah, I do like a good gang shout as well. Definitely adds to it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I did really enjoy the track. They've done quite a few like little EPs there, and I'd really highly recommend listening to them in full.
Yeah,
Because I find that every song that they can sort of do, each EP sort of like plays off from the previous song very well. It flows really well. They've done quite a few split EPs as well with other bands that I'd suggest you check out. Because you can't again you go down that rabbit hole going, oh well, this is a split EP
yeah,
from Pain of Truth, and I can't remember who they did the split EP with, but you'll find that band and you go into that band and then you get into that band, and they're really good. They're really good and they're really enjoyable. Like I said, they've got like that new school and old school element going on in there as well. So yeah, that's definitely something I feel like people would enjoy. It's definitely a good entry into the old school sort of hardcore stuff. Because I feel like once you listen to them, it'll be a lot easier to get into like the
yeah.
ultra old school stuff.
Nice little gateway band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I do actually want to intend to go to more hardcore shows this year because I mean the ones that I went to like Jesus Peace and even like the little ones that we went to, like this they're so enjoyable. It's definitely a different vibe to go into a metal show. Like I enjoy them both, but the just the how crazy it gets
I
is
did tell,
just
I
unreal.
told the minute I go into hardcore, I told everyone, let's go hardcore shows. It took some right convincing, but when I finally got you to go, you were there like, I get it now. Like it is actually like really fun. Like
Yeah.
I feel like for a lot of people, the pitting side of things put people off.
Yeah.
But like the thing is,
You
unless
don't
you're
have
like
to be in it.
yeah, like the thing is, unless you're stood really close to it, the chance of you getting hit is very
Yeah.
minimum. Like if you're like a row or two back, it's not that bad. I mean, we've been even at the side, and like you can like obviously testify this yourself. Even being at the side, you don't really get hit.
No, no, definitely not. Like, you might have to push people a bit back sometimes when they fly into you. But like at the end of the day, like you know where to stand. If you really don't want to be close to any of that happening, then just stand a bit further back. Like just, maybe two people away from where the pit's taking place if you want to get a good spot. But that's how it goes down. That's hardcore's thing. So you can't really complain and go there if you don't like hardcore dancing. Like if it happened at a death metal show, I'd be like, fair enough. I mean, I don't mind. I think people can do whatever the fuck they want. Like, I think there's a thing sometimes, and to be fair, even on the hardcore side, like back to metal, sometimes people complain about people headbanging at hardcore shows, and people complain, about people doing hardcore dancing. Like, if people are enjoying the music, then just let them do what they want to do.
Mm,
Like, unless you're just
definitely.
being a dick and like actually trying to hurt someone, then that's a bit different. But either way, it's fucking both hardcore metal is heavy music and it makes your body do weird things. So it it looks ridiculous to everybody else that's watching that's not into those things. So who cares? Just do what you need to do.
Yeah,
That's my
you know what the
piece.
thing is? I feel like because I brought Dylan to like a smaller one, and we talked about on like our crazy stories where
Yeah.
people will breathe, like some guy started breathing fire in the middle of the mosh pit, and
Yeah.
like I just said, I just find it way more enjoyable now because I found like with a lot of metal shows, I kind of just did a lot of standing round.
Yeah.
I mean, like I did, because like push pits. See, I will, and this might be a controversial statement. I will say push pits are more dangerous than hardcore pits, just because I have hurt myself way more in a push pit where I've fallen over and been like proper fucking trampled,
Yeah.
like than I have in any like hardcore pit. Like the worst I get is like maybe a bruise on my leg from like maybe someone's heel accidentally clipping me when I'm like stood to the side. But like that's the most. But like in a push pit, I've fallen over loads of times and like just
Yeah.
been fucking stood on before I've been picked
Oh
back
yeah,
up.
push pits can definitely get dangerous if you fall
Um,
and like fucking everyone topples over on you.
yeah, like I've hurt myself more, but like I just found with that, like you could with hardcore shows you can get into it a little bit more. Um, and like it's I feel like because it's smaller, most of them are in small venues. Like it's just like a massive atmosphere. Like
Yeah.
I really don't like big like arena shows now. Like I
Yeah.
don't really like
I
it that
don't.
much.
I think I like arena shows when it's like they've got a lot of stage presence, like or a lot of set design. Like, if it's something like Parkway Drive or Ramstein, you know, you're watching the show, so it feels like it's not just about the music, even though the music's very important. But you're seeing like, wow, what the fuck has happened on stage? But like, if it's like a band that doesn't have any stage production or anything, and it's just like a big venue, then it gets a bit shit, especially because there's a lot of people. I feel like when you go to a small show, whether it's metal or hardcore or something, like everybody's getting down because those people really want to be there. There's probably a limited amount of tickets due to space, and so the people that got in are really big fans. In an arena, people might just go just for the sake of going, and then they just sort of stand around, which I don't. Again, as much as I say people can do what they want at a show, I do feel like if you're going to go to a show, at least have to stand there with your arms folded. It's just like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, I think one thing as well with arena shows is there's that many people. People just will piss you off. Like, especially if you go for like a drink and you're
Yeah.
just trying to get back to watch the band. Biggest pet peeve is if you see someone like walking across to you, like through you, just fucking move out the way for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When
Definitely.
you get those people that just stay still and they're like, well, I'm not losing my spot. It's like, you're not going to lose your spot because I'm going to go past you. And the second this is also problem caused by those fuckers that don't move, is that when you're watching and people just barge through you, they don't like tap you and say, excuse me, or like that.
Yeah.
They just fucking barge through you. Like, if you go into somewhere in an arena show, just tap the fucker on the shoulder and go, can I get past? And then just go through when they let you through. And if they're one of those fuckers that don't move, maybe it's okay to barge. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like, either one's a dick move. Like, I just hate it when you just get those fuckers that just stand fucking stationary. Like, well, I'm not losing my spot. This is a good spot. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
People just trying to get fucking past you. Like,
There you go.
that's the problem. That's the problem I have with arena. There's that many people. I just find there's more people that fucking annoy me. Like,
No, I completely agree. So if you're watching this and you're going to an arena, that'll be that guy, because we've just given you the advice now, so you take that and run with it. Um, my next one is Astronoid. The song is Sleep Whisper. I love this album. Like this, I don't know. I felt like I had some sort of, it's like almost like a religious experience to it. But I listened to the bus. I think I was having like quite a bad day. I like, when I wake up in the morning, I tend to be a bit more anxious and like a bit more sad just because I'm sort of tired. So it sort of drains my emotions of bit serotonin shortage, you know what I mean? So I put this album on and I was like, everyone's talking about this album, like literally it's all of my Twitter, Astronoid. I was like, I've got to check them out. I've got to see what's going on. So listen to the album. It's just soothing, like soothing for the soul. It feels like black metal if black metal was happy. Feels like I don't know. If black metal was the come down, this is like what it would be when at your height. So,
was that a drug
but
reference, Brad?
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I've never done drugs though, so I don't know what that would feel like. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's generally like it just makes you feel happy. The lyrics. I haven't really read much into the lyrics. It's something that I usually do as an afterthought, depending on what the album is. But it could be singing about the most depressing stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this is right. So yeah, I proper enjoyed it. This song in particular. It's just got a nice atmosphere to it. You just have to fucking listen to it. Like you just have to check it out. Again, it's one of those unique things. The other albums are similar but different. So I'd suggest going back and listen to the older stuff as well. But the band as a whole have quite an original sound, and they use a lot of elements, I think, from black metal and like prog rock, and it's not that progressive, but I can the sort of way that they go about doing it, I could see being quite proggy. So yeah, I really much enjoyed it, and I think if you're wanting something to brighten the mood, to turn that frown upside down, then listen to Astronoid.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know what to make of him when I listened to him. Just because I couldn't figure out like a genre to put him in. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't know I wouldn't know how to describe them.
I'd
If that
struggle.
makes any sense.
I could look at like the definition of what they are, but like, you know, that could be completely wrong. I know about now with this. But yeah, it's they've got a different sound, and I think that's what drives me towards bands now. You know, that I
Yeah.
can really fall in love
Oh
with.
yeah. They're definitely very, very unique because I don't think I've heard anything like it
Yeah,
at all. It's very like calming, very calming. Um, it's just it's very interesting. Like listen,
yeah.
there's a lot of harmonic sections in there as well. It's very like transcendent. I
It's
mean,
like if
like
heads like a Headspace had a band, you know, like a black metal band. That'd be like a Headspace band.
well, it's I describe the out like the track as cinematic in a way.
Definitely.
Like you could
Yeah.
imagine it in like a cinematic sort of like setting, like maybe like a character's going onto this like an astral plane or something like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, like
very ethereal.
yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like it's very that. Like you can imagine it on a movie soundtrack somewhere. Um, and yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know where to place it. But yeah, I guess
Inception
like
comment.
yeah, well, I guess that's like something that you know you should sort of strive for as a band. Like if people don't know what to put you in, excuse me, but if people don't know what to, oh fuck me, I
Yeah,
don't know what
man.
happened there. No, I don't know what happened there. I just got
Practicing your vocals.
yeah, practicing.
Sounded good, man.
Yeah, it's called the gurgle. But yeah, no, I think like it's a good thing if people really don't know how to place you because it's like
Yeah.
you must be doing something good because you've got a unique sound that people like can't just go blank. Oh, this is that, and quickly label you. I'd definitely recommend it. It's an interesting listen.
No, for sure. And I think the vocals are nice as well because it's sort of it like blends in with the music very well. Like it feels like that's an instrument in itself. And like when you're going through it, it's like this wave of just etherealness. Yeah, hard to describe. I gotta admit, it's hard to
Yeah, very
describe,
very hard to describe.
but it's really good. It's really good. It's I would probably say for you, Nathan, to give the whole thing a listen and see what you think.
I will do. I will do.
Save it for a rainy day.
Yeah, yeah. So my next
What's
one
your next one?
is Spirit Box Rotoscope. I've got quite a
Nice.
when I get that, I don't want to say I've got quite a bit to say in case my mind just runs blank halfway through.
It's really
But
hard hitting.
Yeah, it's really hard hitting. Very raw.
There's only
no,
so many words you can fucking use. Like, I don't know.
I know.
Like,
There needs to. I mean, I think we need to both read like a dictionary just to
I think so.
put some shit in there.
we
That,
film it. Should do like a stream when we just read the dictionary.
yeah, read the. I mean, I don't think that I'd get many people watching, but yeah, no, this track is very interesting. It's very interesting. I feel like we said it
Get some
a million
morphine.
times.
Came
Fucking
on.
it. No, I just thought it was just on that point of like,
Yeah.
there's only so many words, and we've just said interesting about 5 fucking times
Yeah.
in the space of like 10 minutes with each track. This track, my brain keeps saying is very interesting, but it's exactly what I wanted from Spirit Box, from like a bounce off from the last album. Like I've heard a lot of people saying like it's if Billie Eilish were metalcore.
Yeah,
And like
definitely.
it definitely is on that vibe. I saw a lot of people hating it, like when they debuted it, like when it came with the, you know, like just Courtney's clean singing until it kicked into like the actual heavy bit, and people were like, oh yeah, now I like it. That annoyed me a little bit.
That's fucking stupid.
That
Look,
really
on
annoyed me.
Eternal Blue, there's loads of those moments when it's like, you know, clean vocals and then it goes into the heavier stuff. Like I think what it is this when a band makes such a popular album, like people just automatically want to hate it next because they're like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
Same thing as Lorna Shaw now. It's like, what?
Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, like that we could make an entire video about how much that pisses us off as well. But like, it's just a really good jump off point because you know what I found? Like I found with this track, it's kind of like what new metal was going ahead to, but died before it could get there. Where it's like metal you could dance to, Like that, you could like in a lot of
it's
this, you could
funky.
definitely be like, oh yeah, it's groovy, and like
It's groovy,
a lot of
baby.
people are saying, oh, but it's too poppy, it's too poppy, it's not metal. Shut the fuck up. But
Yeah.
like, it's a good track, and it's got a very good. I feel like a lot of people confuse catchy with pop. It's catchy,
I'll catch you
and
with
like,
shit. I'm just like, nah.
yeah, like
You don't
I
think
just
Ace of Spades is catchy. You don't think that, Enter Sandman's catchy. Like, these were fucking popular hits that everyone loved. And then as soon as like a new band makes a catchy song, it's like, oh, this is fucking shit. It's like, why? I just don't get it.
yeah, I just don't. I feel like it's because I feel like a lot of like people in metal see it as this is a niche, and the
That's
minute it
selling
gets more
out.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
minute it gets more popular, like it's almost like you get people that weren't into, because I can definitely tell you Spirit Box is probably a really good gateway band for a lot of young people now.
Absolutely. I've seen it.
Like,
I've seen loads of people get into them from Spirit Box.
yeah, exactly, and that is a really fucking good thing. Like, it is genuinely probably the best thing you can do, because if you've got newer bands make it like that are allowing people to enter the scene, don't be that dickhead that goes, oh, but this is my thing, fuck off, because that's
Yeah,
how it dies. Do you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like if the more people that are listening to the music, the better. Same thing with like the Stranger Things thing
I
with
was
Master
just about to
Puppets.
fucking say that.
Because
Yeah.
like the people that are now gatekeeping that fucking song. By the way, if you're gatekeeping Metallica, piss the fuck off. They're the
They're the
most
biggest metal
commercial
band.
metal band ever, fucking ever,
Yeah.
ever. Right? They've got shit tons of fans that aren't even into metal. Yeah, you got to remember the Black Album was a fucking hard rock album.
It's one of the
There's a lot of
biggest
people that
albums of
like
all
rock
time.
that like Metallica. So if you're genuinely gatekeeping fucking Metallica of all fucking bands, just piss off. Like,
Yeah.
because it's
You're a
like,
dickhead, mate.
yeah, but again, I see a lot of people kind of throwing shade at Spirit Box for this track, which, in my opinion, is really fucking good. Like, people say it in a negative way, oh, it's Billie Eilish metalcore. I see that as a very good positive, because it
Yeah.
means it's more accessible to more people. And
It's
like,
not easy to make like, metal sometimes. It's actually quite hard to make metal catchy sometimes and actually
yeah,
pull it off and be good. Like you could imagine this song like, being played on the radio. I mean, obviously it has the heavier sections, but like if it's good that they're making some tracks like this, because not everything has to be just straight blast beats all the time. Like you can make some stuff that will get people into it and then they'll discover the heavier bands. Like it doesn't really matter. It's still impactful. Like Courtney's fucking vocal range in this song is
yeah,
incredible. Like it's
well,
really pronounced.
well, that's one thing I really liked about this track, because they utilized every single part of Courtney's vocal range. It's
Yeah.
like she's a very, very gifted singer for one, and very gifted at screaming. So like, it's almost wasted it if they just did screaming. Like, and it just kind of annoys me when I see people kind of throwing shade, because I feel like this is a very good evolution in the band's sound, and the fact
Yeah.
that it is genuinely quite different to just your
Yeah.
standard metalcore. Like, it really stands out.
And
Like
it's
when I
different from
listen to it,
Eternal
it's
Blue.
yeah, and it's different from the previous album, and I don't know, like, apart, it just pisses me off when I see people like kind of throwing shade at stuff like this, because
Yeah.
it's like, you do know how hard it is to make a catchy song. Sit down for fucking 20 minutes and try writing a catchy song
Yeah.
that'll
It's
get
not easy.
millions of streams and stuff like that. It's not fucking easy, which is
Many
why
have
you get all,
tried, many have
yeah,
failed.
which is why you get all these pop artists that have fucking like 12 fucking ghost writers, because it is fucking difficult, and most people can't do it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, most people haven't even got the talent to be able to sing and write the catchy stuff. So the fact that they
Yeah.
have wrote it and it is this catchy and it is this good should be something that you should be praising, rather than
Yeah.
necessarily throwing shade on.
It's great for metal to, have bands that, you can have the underground stuff and that's great. And I think it's nice to always have that there, but it's also nice to have bands that are appealing to a bigger audience, because, it's what keeps it alive. Like you don't want the genre to die because you gatekeep every single band. Like you want to get sold out shows, you want to get sold out merch, you want like these bands to be able to do this for a living so they can pump out more shit. And the bigger bands get, the bigger the smaller ones will get, because then they'll discover more. So it's all a domino effects. So don't
Definitely.
gatekeep bands.
Even like it's a trickle effect as well. Like that'll affect smaller bands because there'll be more people going to like smaller shows rather than you're having like the same 4 people every week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
and I just think just stop gatekeeping. It's nice to have people new into it. Everyone fucking started at the same point. Just because you're now like listening to a lot more, or you're deeper in the rabbit hole metal, doesn't give you the right to just shit on someone that's just got into it. You had fucking Metallica posters up in your room. You listened to Korn back in the day to get fucking into it. Everyone started at the fucking beginning. So like, just shut the fuck up and let them enjoy their thing.
Beginnings. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah,
shut up and
absolutely.
just let them enjoy it because you enjoyed it at some point.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, overall the track is brilliant. It's got a nice industrial feel to it. It is catchy and it is heavy and it's got everything that Spirit Box needs. My final one is going to be Conjurer, It Dwells. Conjurer's definitely be an interesting one to come out the woodworks. I remember Caleb used to always like tell me to listen to them, and I eventually did. It's cool because even when you see them live, like they've got this sort of monstrous sound. Like it's loud, it's raw. Damn, he's raw again. Fuck.
Yeah,
Everyone
Google. Everyone that's
Google.
watching this do a drinking game where every time we say raw, you do a shot.
Yeah. I think before the next one, I'm gonna do like Google search raw synonyms.
I can't stop burping.
But yeah, it's a fucking brilliant track. There's quite a lot of long songs on the album, but it doesn't feel like it's a waste of time. It gives you some mellow moments, and it just feels honestly so dark and so dismal, like this whole thing. So it's very like emotional. I can tell there's a lot of anger going on. There's a lot of sadness, a lot of dark topics being covered. But this song in particular really stuck out to me. Just when it breaks into it and just the vocals, it feels very authentic. It doesn't feel like they're trying hard. But you can even see that live. The atmosphere is just absolutely incredible. I would like to see them again. I know they're playing Key Club, so that's maybe tempting to go to that. But yeah, if you want to listen to something just that is absolutely just in your face, listen to this album. And particularly It Dwells. It just hits different.
Yeah, like when I listened to it, it reminded me of like the shoegazy stuff that's out. Like it was very, very more ambient. And then kind of went into your like I hate using the word standard as well, but like your standard sort of Conjurer sound. But it was still like I think there's a lot of elements that are new that are in this that you can definitely like dive into. But if you've also been a fan a fan of Conjurer from day one, you're still going to enjoy it because it's still that sound that's still familiar. But it's just that's what I kind of like when what bands do. Like it's a good sign of a mature band where they add more elements as they go along. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, like to be honest, I didn't really listen to them before we'd even seen them Bloodstock, and like I was like, oh my, I was blown away by them.
They were sick of that set one though.
Oh yeah, that was a very. I mean, like, because what did we woke up early to see that set, didn't we? Because it was in the morning.
Yeah, we did.
I think it was because Kaelin wanted to go, and I was like, yeah, I'll go see Conjurer. I've not heard of them before. I'll check them out. But yeah, that was one of the highlight sets for me from last year's Bloodstock, to be honest. So yeah, I'd highly recommend anyone listen to them. They're definitely like a new band that's deserving of a lot more attention, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And they are building up quite a big fan base now. It's nice to see because I've always thought that they're, very underrated for, the amount of musicianship and work that goes into the craft. It's just very aggressive and has a lot of somber moments too. So I like the variation that you get with this song and just the album as a whole. So yeah, listen to Conjure if you haven't before. Also from the UK, so represent. What's your final pick, Nev?
So my final pick is End It, New Wage Slavery. It's I keep saying it's in your face. But yeah, it's angry. It's in your face.
It's a kick in the balls.
Yeah, it's on it. Well, what I like about it, the lyrics when you look into them actually mean something, and it's something serious, and it's something that affects a lot of people. And I feel like that's ultimately goes so well with the sound of the band. They're just angry, and like you just get it through the music. And they're one of those bands that have kind of like popped up. I think they released an EP in 2020, and this is from their new EP that they've just released. And they're already getting a lot of attention, and I can see why. They're very much that old school sound, like that old school punk sound. But I've watched clips of them recently where they played live. I think like Hit 56 has just obviously put up like a video where he recorded them live, and they're incredible live. And I can see why they're gaining a lot of attention. Again, the lyrics actually mean something, which is also an added bonus. And they look like A, when they perform, they're having a lot of fun, and B, that all the songs mean something rather than just be, I'm just gonna shout down at the microphone and just make up words and hopefully it makes something. It genuinely looks like there's a lot of thought that goes into it. And I got into this band when they released their last EP. This new EP is just as good as that one. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for them, because I genuinely think that they're a very, very, very good band. And they deserve way more attention than they get.
Absolutely. No, I'll be sure to check more of them out. But yeah, that's been our June bangers of discovered gems that we saw. Would recommend us checking them all out. Again, we can describe it with as many roles in your face as we can, but nothing will beat just sitting down and you truly seeing what you think. And I think, to be honest, I think we've got like a nice range of stuff. You know, we've got something for the rainy days, we've got something for the days you want to punch the wall, and you know, covered all the genres in there. So yeah, honestly, check it out. Also, honorable shout out, check out Municipal Waste, new album, because that's also a rager.
I was going to put that on the list, actually. I was going to put that on the list. Municipal Waste's new album's actually really good. I really enjoyed it. It's an interesting listen as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, very much in your face. It's just a
And
joke at
raw.
this point, isn't it? And raw, yeah, can't forget the Goes a package deal. But yeah, honestly, all of them are great. It's so nice to see good music coming out all the time. And yeah, you know what to do. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, there's still like 86 people that watch our videos on YouTube aren't subscribed, so you need to change that. We don't get the analytics on Spotify, but if you drop the podcast a follow, leave us a rating as well. It helps us a lot. And we also have a Patreon. So if you are a returning viewer of the podcast and you want to support us, then yeah, hit that up. We also have merch available now, which I'm very proud to finally say that we have it available. It's on one of our posts on Instagram. Just DM us on Instagram, and Twitter, if you want to share.
On Facebook as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. DM us on any of those platforms if you want to pick up a shirt.
Got some mediums and larges left.
And stuff like that, and we'll send it across. But yeah, we finally have merch out, guys. So yeah, hit it up, get it before it goes out. If
you want some drip, then you know where to look.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been Headbangers, and we'll catch you next time. We've got a very exciting interview coming soon, so keep your eyes out for that.
It's going to be one of the biggest.
And we might have dropped some hints in this video. So yeah, so check it out. It's going to be raw and hitting your face. So catch you later.